Good morning. My name is Father Rayappa. I am in Kattupudi village near Vellore, South India. Today I am going to talk about Centesimus Annus, an encyclical written by Saint Pope John Paul II in 1991. Centesimus Annus means 100th year of the completion of another encyclical which was written in 1891 by Pope Leo XIII, which is called Rerum Novarum. So this Centesimus Annus talks about many things, especially the private property and the destination of material goods. So the material goods belong to everybody, and there is no ownership, private ownership for self-interest. It is not accepted. Pope rejects the idea you can own anything and it is only for your family and it is not meant for social purpose. No, he doesn't accept that. The private property and the ownership of the property is viable only when it is useful for the whole community of this cosmos. So I'm going to read paragraph number 32 in Centesimus Annus, in which Pope is discussing about the land and the work and the skills. Actually, when man was hunters and gatherers, probably 10,000 years ago, in the Neolithic times, man was hunting and women were gathering. That was the lifestyle of our ancestors 10,000 years ago. And slowly they began to farm, do agriculture. Slowly they deforested. They cut down the trees and a piece of land, and then they put some seeds and it grew. And slowly agriculture, the agricultural revolution is emerging 10,000 years back. And slowly there is the rise of villages and slowly to cities and mega cities. This is how our ancestors, through plowing land, they invented a highest technology which is called agriculture. So man worked the land with his hands, and only one thing they did 10,000 years back. There was no machines and there was no big economy, there was no technology. But now Pope is telling 10,000 years back the investment of humans was only land, but now the investment is much more than land, the skills and also the science and technology, and people know how to manipulate resources and how to use them, and sharing of knowledge. If I have something, I share the knowledge with others, and other people share knowledge with us. So today there is so much of technology, and people share in the World Wide Web. And American technology is useful for India, Indian technology is used for Germany, German technology is used for Tokyo in Japan. So all over the world we share our expertise, our knowledge. It is not limited, it is not kept secret, and actually it belongs to every human being. So 7 billion people today, they've got so many gifts, talents, innovation, ingenuity, so much. So we share with others. So that is what Pope is writing in this paragraph number 32. And I'm going to read and then I'm going to comment a little later. All right? Okay. Centesimus Annus, paragraph number 32, Saint Pope John Paul II writes as follows. In our time, in particular, there exists another form of ownership which is becoming no less important than land, the possession of know-how, technology, and skill. The wealth of the industrialized nations is based much more on this kind of ownership than on natural resources. Mention has just been made of the fact that people work with each other sharing in a community of work which embraces ever-widening circles. A person who produces something other than for his own use generally does so in order that others may use it after they have paid a just price, mutually agreed upon through free bargaining. It is precisely the ability to foresee both the needs of others and the combinations of productive factors most adapted to satisfying those needs that constitutes another important source of wealth in modern society. Besides, many goods cannot be adequately produced through the work of an isolated individual. They require the cooperation of many people in working towards a common goal. Organizing such a productive effort, planning its duration in time, making sure that it corresponds in a positive way to the demands which it must satisfy, and taking the necessary risk. All this too is a source of wealth in today's society. In this way, the role of disciplined and creative human work, and as an essential part of that work, initiative and entrepreneurial ability becomes increasingly evident and decisive. This process, which throws practical light on a truth about the person which Christianity has constantly affirmed, should be viewed carefully and favorably. Indeed, besides the earth, man's principal resources is man himself. This intelligence enables him to discover the earth's productive potential and the many different ways in which human needs can be satisfied. It is his disciplined work in close collaboration with others that makes possible the creation of ever more extensive working communities which can be relied upon to transform man's natural and human environments. Important virtues are involved in this process, such as diligence, industriousness, prudence in undertaking reasonable risks, reliability and fidelity in interpersonal relationships, as well as courage in carrying out decisions which are difficult and painful but necessary, both for the overall working of a business and in meeting possible setbacks. The modern business economy has positive aspects. Its basis is human freedom exercised in the economic field, just as it is exercised in many other fields. Economic activity is indeed but one sector in a great variety of human activities, and like every other sector, it includes the right to freedom as well as the duty of making responsible use of freedom. But it is important to note that there are specific differences between the trends of modern society and those of the past, even the recent past. Whereas at one time, the decisive factor of production was the land and later capital, understood as a total complex of the instruments of production. Today, the decisive factor is increasingly man himself. That is, his knowledge, especially his scientific knowledge, his capacity for interrelated and compact organization, as well as his ability to perceive the needs of others and to satisfy them. Centesimus Annus, Saint Pope John Paul II, and he has written so beautifully in the paragraph number 32. Pope is simply telling, land was the ownership of our ancestors, but now there are many types of ownership, and we own them, like intelligence, wisdom, knowledge, talents, gifts, and Pope is also um, enumerating other capital of each and every human person. They are diligence, industriousness, prudence, reliability, fidelity, decision making, facing risk, and scientific knowledge, and organizing capacity. All these are of ownership of man. Man owns them. So he shares with others. Also you can call it a human ecology. And he doesn't mention the name human ecology, but they belong to human ecology. Human ecology and environmental ecology. We always interact. It's a relationship between human inner dimension and environmental outer dimension. And also man's outer dimension, environment, inner dimension. So everything is integrated. So Pope John Paul II, it's a brilliant writing in chapter 4 of article number 32 in Centesimus Annus. And please, when you have time, please read it. It will be very much helpful for business economy and for our small-scale farmers, industrial farmers, business people, entrepreneurs, and banking and markets, and everybody should read this article number 32 from Centesimus Annus. And thank you, and God bless.